Life can be a whirlwind, challenges arise, doubts creep in, it's easy to feel lost. But there's a place of peace, of solace. It's in the embrace of God's love. Faith is our compass. It guides us through the darkness. It offers hope when we feel lost. It reminds us we are never alone. God's love is a beacon. It shines brightly, even in our darkest hours. When we open our hearts to Him, we find strength, we find peace, we find our way home. Life's path is rarely smooth. We face trials and tribulations. It's during these times that faith becomes our anchor. Faith doesn't mean the absence of storms. It means finding peace amidst the turmoil. It's about trusting in God's plan, even when we don't understand it. Remember the story of the disciples caught in a storm? Fear gripped their hearts, yet Jesus calmed the waves. He reminded them of the power of faith. Just like the disciples, we too can find solace in God's presence. He is our refuge, our strength, our ever-present help in times of need. In the Gospels, Jesus speaks of a mustard seed. It's small, almost insignificant, yet it grows into a large plant. This parable beautifully illustrates the power of faith. Even the smallest seed of faith can blossom into something extraordinary. It can move mountains. It can change lives. Never underestimate the power of your faith. Nurture it, water it with prayer. Watch it grow into something beautiful. God sees your heart. He sees your faith no matter how small it may seem, and He will honor it. Life will throw storms our way. We may question our faith. We may feel lost and alone. It's during these times that we must hold fast to our faith's anchor. Remember, even when we doubt, God doesn't. His love for us is unwavering. He is our rock, our fortress, our shield. Turn to Him in prayer. Seek solace in His word. Find strength in the knowledge that He is always with you, walking beside you every step of the way. The storms will pass, the sun will shine again, and your faith, tested but not broken, will emerge stronger than ever before. Section 5. Nurturing the seed of faith, a journey of growth. Faith is not a destination, it's a journey. It requires constant nurturing. It demands we cultivate a deep and meaningful relationship with God. How do we do this? Through prayer, through studying His Word, through acts of kindness and compassion. Prayer is our lifeline to God. It's a conversation with the divine. Share your joys, your sorrows, your fears, your hopes with Him. He listens. He cares. Reading the Bible provides guidance and wisdom. It reveals God's love for us. It illuminates the path He has laid out for us. Section 6. The power of prayer, a lifeline to the divine. In the quiet moments when we feel most alone, prayer is our lifeline to God. It is in these moments of solitude that we find the strength to reach out, to connect with something greater than ourselves. Prayer becomes a bridge, a sacred link that binds our hearts to the divine. It's a direct connection to the divine. Through prayer, we open a channel to the heavens, allowing us to communicate our deepest thoughts and desires. This connection is not bound by time or space. It transcends all earthly limitations, a chance to pour out our hearts, to share our burdens, to seek His guidance. In these moments, we find solace and comfort, knowing that we are not alone in our struggles. We can lay down our worries and fears, trusting that they are being heard by a loving and compassionate Creator. Prayer is not about reciting empty words. It's about engaging in a meaningful dialogue with God, where every word is infused with sincerity and emotion. It's about expressing our gratitude, our hopes and our dreams, knowing that they are being received with open arms. It's about honest, heartfelt conversation with our Creator. It's about being vulnerable, opening up our hearts and allowing ourselves to be seen and understood. In these moments of honesty, we find healing and strength. It's about surrendering our worries to Him, trusting in His infinite wisdom and love. When we let go of our need to control, we make room for His guidance and support. We learn to trust in His plan, even when it doesn't align with our own. Remember the story of Hannah. Her story is a powerful testament to the strength and perseverance of prayer. She desperately desired a child. Her longing was so intense that it consumed her every thought and prayer. Her prayers were filled with anguish, but she persevered. Despite the pain and the waiting, she continued to pour out her heart to God, trusting that He would hear her cries. And God, in His time, answered her prayers. He blessed her with a child, showing that He had heard her all along. This story reminds us that our prayers are never in vain. Like Hannah, we must approach God with humility and faith. We must trust that He knows what is best for us, even when we cannot see the bigger picture. Our prayers may not always be answered in the way we expect. Sometimes the answers come in ways we never imagined, teaching us valuable lessons and helping us grow. But God hears every word, every plea, every whisper of our hearts. He is always listening, always present, ready to offer His love and support. In the end, prayer is not just about asking for what we want, but about building a relationship with the divine, one that is rooted in trust, love, and faith. Section 7. Community of Faith. Finding strength in shared belief. We are not meant to walk this journey of faith alone. God calls us to community. He calls us to support and uplift one another. Find a church family. Surround yourself with people who share your faith. People who will pray with you, encourage you, and help you grow closer to God. Sharing your faith journey with others can be incredibly strengthening. It reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles. It provides a sense of belonging and purpose. Remember, iron sharpens iron. When we come together in faith, we encourage one another. We challenge one another to grow, and we become stronger together. Section 8. Embracing God's grace, a balm for the weary soul. We all fall short. We make mistakes. It's a part of our human nature, an inevitable aspect of our journey through life. We stray from God's path, sometimes knowingly, sometimes unknowingly. We find ourselves lost, wandering through the meadows of uncertainty, searching for direction. But here's the amazing thing about God's love. It's unconditional. He offers us grace, a beacon of light that guides us back to His embrace no matter how far we've strayed. Grace is a free gift. We don't deserve it. We can't earn it. It's given to us out of pure love, a love that transcends our flaws and failures. But it's ours for the taking. All we need to do is open our hearts and accept it, to let go of our pride and acknowledge our need for His mercy. All we have to do is accept it. In that moment of acceptance, we find ourselves enveloped in a peace that surpasses all understanding. When we embrace God's grace, we are set free from the burden of guilt and shame. The chains that once held us back are broken, and we are liberated to walk in the light of His love. We are filled with hope and forgiveness. Our hearts are renewed and our spirits are lifted. We begin to see the world through the lens of His grace, finding beauty in the simplest of things. We are empowered to live a life worthy of His calling. With each step we take, we grow stronger in our faith, more confident in our purpose, and more determined to reflect His love in all that we do. Remember, God doesn't see us as we are. He sees us as we can be. He looks beyond our present struggles and sees the potential within us, the greatness we're capable of achieving. He sees us as we can be. He sees our potential, even when we don't see it ourselves. In His eyes, we are more than our mistakes, more than our failures. He sees our potential even when we don't see it ourselves. So let us embrace His grace, let us walk in His love, and let us strive to become the people He created us to be. Section 9. Hope's eternal flame, ignited by faith. In a world often filled with darkness, faith is the spark that ignites hope's eternal flame. It is the small yet powerful light that guides us through the most challenging times, illuminating our path when all seems lost. It reminds us that even in the midst of suffering there is beauty. The wildflowers that bloom in the green meadow are a testament to resilience and the enduring power of life. Even in despair, there is redemption. The sunrise over the green meadow with dewdrops sparkling in the first light symbolizes new beginnings and the promise of a fresh start. Faith allows us to look beyond our present circumstances and see the bigger picture. It helps us to understand that our struggles are temporary and that there is a greater purpose at work. It assures us that God is in control and He is working all things together for good. The gentle breeze moving through the serene pasture is a reminder of His constant presence and guidance. Remember the story of Job? He lost everything, his family, his wealth, his health. Yet amidst his suffering, he never lost faith in God, his family, his wealth, his health. Job's story is a powerful reminder that faith can sustain us through the darkest times. The solitary tree in the vast green field stands as a symbol of endurance and hope. Yet, amidst his suffering, he never lost faith in God. And in the end, God restored him and blessed him beyond measure. The rainbow appearing after the storm is a symbol of God's promise and the hope that follows hardship. And in the end, God restored him and blessed him beyond measure. Like Job, we must cling to hope even when life seems bleak. The sunrise over the lush green fields symbolizes the new beginnings that faith can bring. Like Job, we must cling to hope, even when life seems bleak. For it is our faith that sustains us, that guides us through the darkness and leads us into the light of God's eternal love. The single beam of sunlight breaking through the clouds is a powerful reminder of the hope and love that faith brings into our lives. For it is our faith that sustains us, that guides us through the darkness and leads us into the light of God's eternal love. The winding path leading towards the horizon symbolizes the journey of faith, with the rising sun representing the new hope and endless possibilities that lie ahead. Section 10, Finding Rest in God's Green Pastures. Life's journey can be tiring. We carry burdens, we face anxieties, but God, in His infinite mercy, offers us a place of rest. He leads us to green pastures beside still waters. In His presence we find peace, we find solace, we find the strength to carry on. Let us cast our cares upon Him. Let us rest in His loving embrace. Let us find peace in the knowledge that we are His beloved children and He will never leave us nor forsake us. In God's green pastures we find restoration for our souls. We find hope for the future. We find the strength to face whatever tomorrow may bring.